Most men think desire starts with touch. It doesn't. Touch only works when something else is already awake. If you've ever touched a woman and felt nothing shift, it wasn't because you did it wrong. It's because the emotional door wasn't open yet. And with a mature woman, that door is guarded. This matters because most men react instead of read. They lean in when they feel distance. They touch to get reassurance. They move closer when uncertainty shows up. That instinct feels natural. It also quietly shuts desire down. A mature woman doesn't respond to touch the way younger attraction advice describes. She's not chasing novelty. She's sensing stability. She's reading your emotional center before she ever feels your hand. If you understand this, you stop guessing, you stop overdoing, and you stop mistaking closeness for connection. Female attraction isn't built on stimulation first. It's built on safety mixed with tension, not comfort, not pressure. Calm presence with a controlled edge. When a woman feels emotionally safe with you, her guard lowers. When she feels challenged by your stillness, curiosity rises. Touch only works when it lands inside that space. The first touch that shifts everything is not sexual. It's subtle, and most men rush past it. It's the grounded, guiding touch. This is when you place your hand lightly at her upper back, just below the shoulder blades, and guide her forward without hesitation. No squeeze, no lingering, no apology in your movement. Psychologically, this does something important. You're not asking. You're not taking. You're leading calmly. A mature woman reads this as emotional containment. You're present, you're aware, and you're not trying to prove anything. This touch works because it signals certainty without dominance. You're not overpowering her space. You're holding it. Men who overgive often miss this. They hesitate. They hover. Their touch feels like a question. That creates tension, but the wrong kind. It puts her in control too early. An attraction needs polarity to breathe. If you've been the man who tried too hard, this isn't a failure. You weren't weak. You lost your center. You learned to touch from wanting, not from grounded presence. And wanting is loud, even when you say nothing. Here's the quiet truth. When your body is calm, your touch feels different. When you're emotionally independent, your hand communicates safety instead of need. Stillness creates curiosity, not movement. So now next shift, the touch becomes more personal, but only if this one lands first. So ask yourself, honestly, when you touch her, are you guiding or are you hoping? The second touch doesn't announce itself. It happens when she already feels seen. This is the pause touch. You're standing close. Conversation slows. There's space between words. And instead of filling it, you let it breathe. Then your hand rests briefly on her forearm. Not sliding, not gripping, just contact. Then you release. Psychologically, this touch works because it respects autonomy. You're not claiming her body, you're acknowledging her presence. A mature woman notices restraint more than pressure. She's experienced men who rush, men who escalate too fast, men who confuse access with intimacy. This touch signals something different. Control. It tells her you're comfortable with closeness without needing more, and that creates emotional tension. Desire grows in the space between impulse and restraint, not in urgency. Many men lose attraction here because they stay too long. They let the touch linger. They unconsciously ask for permission through their body. That shifts the dynamic. The touch becomes a request instead of a statement. If you've been that man, understand this. You weren't wrong for wanting closeness. You just didn't trust stillness. Stillness is powerful because it lets her feel. And mature desire comes from internal permission, not external push. The third touch happens only after she begins leaning in emotionally. It's the shared direction touch. This is when you sit side by side and your shoulders lightly meet. No adjustment, no pulling away. You stay relaxed. This touch works because it removes confrontation. You're not facing her. You're aligned with her. Psychologically, alignment creates partnership energy. It lowers defense. It increases comfort without killing tension. She feels you're with her, not evaluating her. Men who try too hard often miss this moment. They face her directly, searching for signs, reading every expression. That puts pressure on the interaction. Pressure suffocates desire. When your body is calm, she feels safe to soften. And when she softens, desire begins to surface naturally. This isn't about technique, it's about emotional pacing. If you've been confused by mixed signals, this is usually why. You escalated when she needed space, or you pulled away when she needed alignment. Neither is wrong, they're just out of sync. The power shift happens when you stop trying to control the outcome, when your touch reflects your emotional independence. Silence helps here, not as a tactic, as self-respect. When you're not rushing to be chosen, your presence feels heavier, grounded, magnetic. The next touch becomes more intimate, but intimacy only works when curiosity is alive. So notice this. When you touch, are you trying to move things forward, or are you allowing her to come closer on her own? The fourth touch only works after she stops bracing. You'll feel it before you see it. Her breathing slows, her posture softens. She's no longer managing the moment. This touch is brief contact at the side of her neck, not the front, not the throat. The side, just below the ear. A light brush as you lean in to speak, then distance again. Psychologically, this touch activates vulnerability without exposure. You're entering a personal space without invading it. A mature woman reads this as trust, not recklessness, not hunger. Men often get this wrong because they rush intimacy before emotional safety settles. They touch the wrong place too soon, and the body tightens before the mind can follow. This touch works because it's unannounced and unclaimed. You're not staying, you're passing through. That passing creates awareness. Her attention turns inward. She feels instead of analyzes. If you've ever wondered why some moments felt charged without anything happening, this is why. Desire doesn't need action. It needs awareness. The fifth touch is the most misunderstood because it looks like nothing. It's the release. This is when she's leaning in. Her knee brushes yours. Her hand lingers when she laughs. And instead of escalating, you lean back slightly, not pulling away, not shutting down, just creating space. Psychologically, this touch isn't physical, it's emotional. You're showing her that closeness doesn't trap you, that desire doesn't control you. For a mature woman, this is powerful. She's experienced men who cling once things feel good, men who collapse into the moment. Your restraint keeps polarity alive. This is where many men panic. They fear losing momentum. They think stepping back means losing interest. But attraction doesn't grow from pursuit. It grows from emotional balance. If you've been the man who overgave, hear this clearly. You weren't wrong for caring. You just placed your worth too close to her response. That's exhausting for both of you. When you're grounded, your touch feels calm. When you're calm, she feels free to want. Quiet control isn't about strategy. It's about identity. You don't touch to get something. You touch because you're already complete. That energy changes everything. In the final part, we'll bring this together. Not as techniques, but as a way of being. So sit with this question. When desire starts to rise, do you rush to hold it, or are you strong enough to let it come to you? At this point, the touches aren't the point anymore. They never were. What actually triggered desire was who you were while touching. Your pace, your restraint, your ability to stay centered when emotion showed up. A mature woman doesn't fall into desire because of confidence displays or clever moves. She responds to emotional regulation. She feels safe when you don't rush her reactions. She feels curious when you don't chase clarity. She feels desire when you don't need certainty to stay grounded. This is where most men finally see what was missing. They thought attraction was about escalation. But escalation without self-control feels unstable. And instability makes a mature woman pull back. You didn't lose her because you weren't attractive enough. You lost your frame when uncertainty entered. And that's human. When someone matters to you, it's easy to over-adjust, to give more, to explain yourself, to fill silence. But desire doesn't grow in explanation. It grows in emotional consistency. The quiet power you're developing isn't about withholding affection. It's about not abandoning yourself in the moment. When you touch from that place, everything changes. Your presence feels solid. Your silence feels intentional. Your attention feels earned, not given away. This is why chasing never works. Not because chasing is wrong, but because it tells her your center is outside yourself. And when your center moves, her trust weakens. Stillness is attractive because it signals depth, not mystery. Depth. You're not trying to be chosen, you're choosing how you show up. That's the identity shift. You stop measuring moments by outcome. You stop needing reactions to validate you. You let attraction reveal itself instead of forcing it. Ironically, this is when women lean in, not because you changed your behavior, but because you changed your relationship with yourself. If she feels desire, it's because she feels safe to feel it. If she doesn't, you don't collapse. You remain grounded. That alone separates men. So the real question isn't which touch triggers desire. It's whether your presence can hold it when it arrives. Can you stay calm when tension builds? Can you stay composed when things slow down? Can you remain centered even if nothing happens at all? Because that's what a mature woman is responding to. Not urgency, not performance, stability. As you move forward, don't focus on doing more. Focus on becoming quieter inside. Let your touch come from fullness, not hope. Let your silence come from self-respect, not fear. And ask yourself this, honestly. When desire appears, are you trying to secure it, or are you finally steady enough to let it unfold? If this made something click for you, don't rush past it. Sit with it. Most men never slow down long enough to notice where they lose themselves. Awareness is the beginning of control. If you want more conversations like this, calm, honest, and grounded, subscribe. Not for tricks, for clarity. And if something here reflected your experience, leave a comment. Not to impress anyone, but to be honest with yourself. Because the moment you stop chasing understanding and start standing in it, everything begins to change.